Hey everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. This week, we are thankful for new friends. We'll also find out what made Taylor say.
They really get off on just like rewatching performances from years past. Like, I'll tell you what, when I watch Faust, when I watch anything from 1999, like 90s drum corps, girl.
And why Christian said,
It's like you can watch after you push stuff on the field, but I got 29 kids and a whole bunch of stuff. So step up.
All this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hey everyone, it's Ricardo. Well, we have a fun episode this week. We're going to share memories of a great band season with some old friends, as well as some new friends. But before we see who's on the sidelines this week, go and subscribe on your favorite listening app, write us a review, share with a friend. And if you got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreak@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now to fill out if you want to be a guest. Check it out at our link in the bio. So, who's on the sidelines this week, Trish?
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Doing?
I mean, it's good, Trish. I hadn't seen you in a hot minute.
In a hot minute because we got through Bandtober, we got through Bandvember, we got through all of that. So now chill time here. So, obviously starting winter, but it's not quite as hectic as marching band. So everything good here.
Here's the funny thing. I thought that in my first year of retirement from being a high school color guard director that my October and my November would be so much more free and open. No, I think I saw more marching band this year than I have in the last 30 years of teaching.
Well, because you could actually watch.
I was judging. So, and not just judging in my own head. I was getting a paycheck for judging this year.
I was going to say, girl, you always been judging.
She always judges, honey. But
that's right.
I was getting a little coin for it this year, which was nice.
Even better. Even better.
Absolutely. So, you know what, Trish? I think it's time for us to not have this conversation with ourselves, but to figure out the people who are on the sideline this week. So, this person is someone who we've all wanted to have on the show ever since we found out that his band was traveling all the way to Indianapolis, Indiana for Grand Nationals from Alaska. That's Alaska, Alaska. Please welcome Kenai Central High School Band Director, Christian Stefanos. Christian.
And Christian, I'm probably going to play the applause sound a lot. Did you see the Simpsons movie? Did you ever see the Simpsons movie when they moved to Alaska and the Homer tells the kids, clap for Alaska, clap for Alaska. So probably every time you say Alaska, I'm probably going to clap.
Christian, first of all, I need for you to understand the fact that we have a group chat, just like everyone else in the world, but there's a group chat for On a Water Break, and there's messages that pop in and out all the time. And usually there are messages that happen as I'm doing something, I'm either at work or I'm at home not wanting to think about anything, or in this case, I was judging marching band, and I get this notification that's oh my God, guys, check out this band that's coming from Alaska. And I love that. And the first thing I was Trish will vouch for me when I said, there's marching band in Alaska?
You did say that.
I need for you to elaborate. Even before we start your 32 count story, there's marching band in Alaska.
Yeah, there is. There's a few of us now. There's three main ones that are pretty much every year. It's us, Colony High School, who actually went to Grand Nationals in 2015, and then Wasilla High School. And there's a couple of small ones sporadically throughout the state, but it's kind of hit or miss whether they're going to have a season or not. But yeah.
Oh,
I have so many questions. First, I mean, okay. So my first question, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to get into all of that in a minute. Let's do this. Christian, I need to know all about you because you are a band director in Alaska. These are things that I never thought existed. So I need to know everything about you. I want to do a 32 count life story with you. Don't know if you listen to our podcast or not, but we do this thing with all of our guests the first time they're on. You're going to tell us your life story in 32 counts. We're going to give you 8 off the Met. You're going to go tell us everything from birth until you logged onto this podcast today. Are you down for that?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Trish, give me the Met.
All right, so I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I was born there. I went to school in Kennesaw at Harrison High School. I did my undergrad and master's at Georgia State University. I marched with the Alliance Drum and Bugle Corps in 2010, and then I did 2 seasons at the Cadets in 12 and 13. When I was doing my master's degree, I was also getting my education certification, and I was student teaching when COVID shut everything down. And I was literally sitting in my office going, I wonder if they have band in Alaska because I like snow and Georgia kind of stinks. And I Google searched if there was band in Alaska, there was a position. I thought COVID just shut everything down. There's no way I'm getting this job, but I'm just looking for a job, and interview experience is great. And then I got the job and had to move across the continent when COVID shut everything down. And here I am, 6 years later, 5 years later.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so first, shout out to Georgia because, you know, I moved to Florida from Georgia. I was teaching at McEachern High School back in the day. So neighbors with Harrison. Actually worked at the Banana Republic right across the street from Harrison High School. So at the East Cobb Town Center. But Alaska, like I first of all, I did not know. Is there football in Alaska? Like, does that exist? Is that a thing?
Yeah, there is football. We have all the sports. I actually coach our baseball team too. That's my one of many hats
Oh,
that I
wow.
do.
Oh my, okay.
Wow.
Get out of here. You're
That's
directing the
awesome.
marching band and coaching the baseball team in Alaska. Like
Yeah.
these are too many variables and elements that I'm just not ready for.
How big
Yeah,
is the
it's
marching
pretty
band
crazy up
scene
here.
in Alaska? Like, how big is the scene? Like, I'm in New Jersey. We have the U.S. band circuit. You know, there's A bands, there's open bands. They have to split everything in half because there's so many bands. Like, what's the scene like in Alaska?
It's not great, especially from
Okay.
somebody coming from, you know, BOA in the
Georgia, yeah.
Southeast where you're at every football game. But it's growing and it's gotten better. And, you know, that was one of the main reasons I took the band to Grand Nats was to be like, look, you guys, you can do band in Alaska. So do a marching band. Let's grow it.
1,000%.
So
Yep.
let's see what happens.
It's cool.
So
It's really cool.
I'm going to ask, how many kids are in your program?
So I teach middle and high school, and so my entire band program is about 200. My high school is about 75.
That's
Are the middle schoolers in the marching band?
Yes. Normally, like until this year, it was a pretty heavy split of middle schoolers. But this
Okay.
year we only marched 4, which was pretty
Okay.
awesome to finally see where it's
Wow.
finally mostly high school.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually.
wow. I am just floored and enamored, and I want to know more. We're going to come back. We're going to circle back because I don't want to leave our other guests on the sidelines for too long. Joining us is the TikTok sensation known as Great Batch of Cookies, Taylor Great Batch. Welcome, Taylor.
Hello. How are we doing?
Hey, friend. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I'm dandy. I'm tired. Ugh, but I'm good. You know, girl, that post BOA energy, state is done, nationals is done, mid-states are done. Everything's done. So
Everything's
good.
done, but yet it's all starting again.
And it is all starting again. What do you know? Here we are.
So
It
Taylor,
literally
I
feels like we
know
were just here, though, too. Like
it's
last year, starting indoor and just getting done. All the kids are in their getting ready for drum corps auditions and talking about the dues, etc.
yeah.
The cycle never stops.
It does not ever stop. Taylor, before we get going in this podcast, I want to do the same thing because I want our listeners to learn a little bit about Taylor Great Batch. So, you know the gist 32 count life story. You're going to get 8 counts off the Met, and then you're going to tell us your life as it is from birth up until you logged onto the podcast. Are you ready for that?
And as you
Absolutely.
can
I've got my
tell,
notes.
it's really okay if you go over.
Right? Yeah.
George.
Here
I'm
we
not
go.
really teching that hard. All right. You ready for this, Taylor?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, so I was born and raised in Lexington, Kentucky. I spent a lot of my middle school and high school days in Paris, Kentucky, where I did band, theater, journalism, TV studio, school news, all of the artsy fartsy stuff. I went to Governor's School for the Arts in theater while I was there, in high school, that is, which kind of propelled me and convinced me that I could go to school for my art form. And at that time, instead of band, ironically was theater. Went to school at both CCM and NKU, studied musical theater, drama, stage management, and a little bit of electronic media. Then lived up in New York City and did the theater scene, as all theater majors do. Um, while I was up there, I worked for Inside Broadway, Main State Music Theater, Dream Yard Project, PPAS, Soul Cycle, the American Theater Wing. I'm an actor that's in the Actors Equity. I've done some random shows all over the place. Yeah. But yeah, I've done Springboard NYC. I'm part of the Broadway Dreams Foundation. And then, COVID hit and I moved back to Kentucky and I got back to doing marching band again. My high school actually did a show during COVID. We did a socially distanced and masked show. And then that kind of just got me back into the marching band scene because I was doing the theater scene up in the Broadway world up in New York. And I needed something to do. And one of my friends that was directing the band, and that just kind of got me back into it these last 5-6 years. And yeah, the kids that just graduated this year, I started as 7th graders marching during the pandemic. So this year specifically at BOA was very emotionally draining just because it's some special kids in my heart. But yeah, done a bunch of random things. Got my hips replaced this year. I'm a cycling instructor, freelance artist here in Kentucky, just making things work post COVID. So yeah.
Wow. I knew we were kindred soul sisters from the sign
The
on.
moment he said theater,
But the
you were
moment
in.
you said theater, I was like, oh, that's why I like Taylor so much. Is because we're both theater queens. I love it. And small
Oh,
town
absolutely.
country queens. I love that.
Heck yeah.
Guys, both of you are here today, and we are getting to know you as we are closing out this wonderful season of On a Water Break podcast. And we have so many things to talk about. But before we get into all of that, I want everyone to take this time to preview some of our awesome weekly episodes and bonus content that we have going on. So you should give a listen to the episode that Nicole did with Taylor and Haley, breaking down all things BOA, PASIC, and more. And child, if you missed the episode that Jeremy and I did with the one and only Latrice Royale, you need to listen to it immediately. My sides are still in recovery. As a matter of fact, I have to go to the doctor tomorrow to get them checked out because I laughed so hard. And also, Becca Anderson and Stephanie Furness of Juxtaposition Winter Guard join Joey and Jackie for an inside look at all things that is happening Justa. But we will be back with you in just a moment for more On a Water Break.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Welcome back to On a Water Break. We are here with our friends Taylor and Christian. And you know what, guys? I just want to take a couple minutes and just chat about your whole BOA experience this year. I'm going to preface this with saying I have worked for the Bands of America organization for 23 years now, and I have never made it to a Grand Nationals championship. I know exactly. My jaw drops too. Every year, ever since I've been in Florida, which has been the last 17 years, 16, 17 years, I have not been able to go because it always falls like on our championships for Florida. And even back when I was in Georgia and Mississippi, there was always something else happening at the same time that I've never gotten to go. I know it sucks. So I want to know what it's like, Christian, like for you taking a band from Alaska to Grand Nats, like how did you fundraise? Like what was this entire process like for you?
So when I took the job, the second year I was there was when I decided we were going to have a marching band. We'd had a drum line and a color guard for like 10 years. They called it marching band. Being from the South, drumline and color guard, it's not marching band. We got to add the wind section. And so in year one, I told the kids, in year 5, we're going to go to a competition. And we started building and kind of building everything towards going to some sort of competition in year 5. And last year, towards the middle of the season, I was like, well, if we're going to go to a contest next year, we're going to have to fly anyways. Why don't we go to the biggest one? And, I grew up in the BOA system. I love what they represent, and I love the shows and how they're carried out and everything. So we started last year at the end of marching band season. We started fundraising, we do the typical vertical raise, snap raise thing. Then we have a Taco Tuesday that we do every year, dessert auctions, car washes, kids mowing people's lawns to pay off their fees and stuff, anything and everything we could think of to kind of get the funds. Because when you have almost no budget, you got to kind of figure out funny ways to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
it's amazing.
That is amazing. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. And Taylor, I know Kentucky is not very far from Indianapolis because it is a neighboring state, but I mean, you work at a 1A school and there's challenges that come along with that as well. Like, what was the process like for you guys getting back to the Grand Nats?
Girl, first and foremost, we have had seasons in past where we have been almost to the state finals competition and people are asking, when are your props going to be done? And I'm like, girl, they're done. That's all we got. That's all we got. Like,
that's a whole other conversation in itself about props and what they look like and the expensiveness of all of them. And that's going to be my what are we doing? But go ahead.
All right. But yeah, no, The special thing about the school that I grew up with and or grew up in and that have been on staff with, I've been on staff with quite a few other bands in the area, but mainly my high school, my alma mater, has been home base, and it is a very low demographic in the state of Kentucky. It's one of the poorest demographics in the state. It's one of the most underpaid for the education in the education system, and they struggle to even get bus drivers. But over the years, it has been band has been a very good stake in the arts in this county and in this community, and it has been something that has given people hope. I know that there is not a lot for kids in where I grew up to do. Like, you either are going to go to school for something and you don't know what you're going to go to school for, or you're just going to go out into the workforce. So for people to have experiences out of the city is a big thing. So doing band was awesome because these kids, our students, we've gotten to take them all over the place. I remember some of my favorite competitions were like when I went to BOA Grand Nationals, or when we went to the Tournament of Champions over in the Carolinas and got to see Western Carolina University perform. Like, they are just insane. And when you are from a town of 5,000 or less, and then you get to do all of these cool experiences and meet students that are just like you, it's world changing. And we in our state, even though we are not the craziest and most exotic state in the world, we're very prideful in what we do, and we won some state championships in our division and some national championships as I was growing up in school, and it kind of, quote unquote, put us on the map in our state. And it's been neat to see where people in my program have gone. I feel like band kind of set me up for success, and not only was it my band director, but it was just the program in itself. This activity we do, it requires a lot from every single person involved, and there's no weak link in the program. You know, you need every single person to make it one huge thing. And I feel everything that I took from marching band kind of took me into my entire freelancing career. I always talk about marching band, I always brag about it, and my students now are like, oh, you're just a big band geek. And I'm like, yeah, I am a big band geek, but also it made me who I am today. It gave me the personality that I have. It allowed me to perform in ways that I don't always get to perform. And I think that's lovely to see how it's kind of evolved and acquired lots of different parts of my career. And that's why it's so fun for me now. So
Yeah.
kind of ends with what we were doing, but
You know, as someone who is a product of small town America and knowing the power of what being a member of a marching band does, and now being an advocate for those programs and being a supervisor for programs in a larger school district in a larger city, you know, there's something to be said about coming from those humble towns where the band program really is the glue that holds the town together. And I love the sentiment when you see a vast majority of band programs in small towns, they're usually called the pride of insert town name here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you really take a step back and you think about being the pride of something, that has weight to it. And I grew up small town Mississippi, town of 5,000 or less people. You know, the marching band was the biggest thing around. I wound up teaching that marching band program for years. I taught the neighboring two high schools that were also small towns, and they were the pride of those towns. And I can remember being at band rehearsals and on Thursday nights, and the entire town coming out to band rehearsal to watch because there was nothing else going on. And it literally was a thing that they were very proud of. And seeing that for you two, like understanding it and doing this on a national stage, especially you, Christian, in such a vastly diverse world, like, how does that make you feel to know that you have all of this support system from a small town pushing your band students forward and advocating for your program?
Yeah, so it's been kind of I won't say a struggle, but it's just such a new activity up here that they just didn't know what to expect. And so it took a lot of trust in our community, in me, to take this idea and be like, we're just going to trust our band director. He hopefully knows what he's talking about, and trusting me to take their kids halfway across the continent and do something they had never seen before. And I think the coolest thing for me, outside of seeing my kids see what the activity is, was getting to see their parents who went on the trip with us get to see all these band parents and what they do, and see what these bands are doing on the field and how a competition works. And that we're still in our building phase, but that we're headed in the right direction. That's been the coolest thing for me.
Mm-hmm. You touched on something that warms my heart, and it's the whole band parent side of this thing. And when people talk to me, and like the programs in my school district talk about like how to build a program, the first thing that I tell them is it starts with the parents. It starts with the parents. One, the parents have to trust the directors to be able to let their kids go off and do this whole thing, but they have to be there. They have to be present and supporting that. And when you come from small towns like both of you do, like you said, Christian, you took your kids and you put them on the national stage first. You started on the national stage, but those parents got to see these well-known band programs that are run by these amazing parents. How does that shape the future and your planning for what's going to happen next with your program? Both Taylor and Christian talk on this for me.
Taylor, you want to go ahead?
Oh, yeah, sure. So for my program this year, especially, it was really essential because this was a really small senior class, and just band support can always kind of like fluctuate, And this year, the parents, we had a lot of newbie parents, and they were just all in. They had no idea what they were doing. They didn't care. They were like, we're here because we know that we've gone through a lot of band director changes, and we've gone through a lot of stress, and like, let's just figure it out. They were so excited just to be there at Grand Nationals at prelims. And it was early for our prelims performance. We were one of the first bands to go on Thursday. And it's probably the earliest I think we've ever gone on in school history. But it was so humbling, and it was just exciting and exhilarating because it was like we got to help be part of waking up BOA this year, and the parents got to see and learn like what it's like from being inside your cones to like following all the little places to go and what not to go and all the timings, and like, no, we need you to be here. And it was just fun to like get to see them learn from other groups and see just how calm and collected some of these programs are. Because some of us, like little bitty groups, we're like, we feel like we've got so much to prove and blah blah blah, and then you get to see some of these programs that they do this, and it's just ease, and it's getting to learn from that and wanting to translate that into your students and allow them to know that, like, hey, yeah, this is all competition and stuff, but at the end of the day, we can do this, and we can have fun, and we can breathe while doing it.
We can breathe. We can breathe.
Yeah, I don't think my parents believed me when I told them that they were going to be putting props and percussion stuff on the field. So they were like, what do you mean we don't get to watch? I was like, you can watch after you push stuff on the field, but we got 29 kids and a whole bunch of props. So step up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
you know
definitely
what?
was that.
And it's that camaraderie. It is that feeling of family that travels on. It's such a great thing. Listen, I can sit here and talk to you guys all day long about all the wonderful things that you have done, but it is time for us to now get into the news. So, Christian, you know what? Since you, sir, made your BOA Grand Nationals debut, and I am going to pretty much say that you traveled the furthest to Grand Nationals this year, you get to talk to us about BOA results.
All right. So I'll start at the bottom. And so rounding out finals was Bentonville High School from Arkansas, which I thought their show was by far the coolest. As a visual designer as well, I thought it was beautiful. And, a lot of band directors I don't want to ever see sequins on the field. That was amazing.
Oh,
And then the back of their uniform was black. It was so gorgeous.
Who said that?
And then we had
who
Wando High
said
School.
you want to see sequins?
Said
I will fight
that?
you. I will fight you.
I have
Who
heard
said that?
Glitter
a
is
lot
like the
of band
best
directors in
color.
my time.
That.
I don't know about glitter, but sequins are cool.
No, glitter is
Well,
my favorite
shiny.
color. Glitter,
Listen,
shiny,
shiny
sequins,
works.
lame. Shiny is my favorite color.
The bands in
Yup.
Kentucky this year that had the shiny, people loved them. Regardless of the placements, people talked about the uniforms, honey.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
If you ain't got a little bit of sparkle in there, go home. What are you doing?
So above Bentonville was Wando High School, another gorgeous show. We had William Mason High School, and then Dripping Springs High School, Blue Springs High School, Marcus High School, Ronald Reagan High School, the Woodlands High School, Broken Arrow High School, which shout out to their tuba player. That was sick. I was sitting on the front sideline watching that. It was amazing. Carmel High School was in third. Flower Mound High School in second, and then Avon High School took it all. And shout out to Avon, who welcomed us to their rehearsal when we got into town in Indy, and
Wow.
treated my kids amazingly. Bought them donuts and hot chocolate because surprisingly it was cold even for my kids, and they were shivering. So the hot chocolate was necessary.
I have been watching all the clips. I was running the FFCC championships over the weekend, so I did not get to watch live. And it was funny because in the On a Water Break group chat, my phone was buzzing all day long from everyone watching live and the people that were in the stands watching it happen and giving live commentary. It just seemed like it was a great year for BOA. Like all the clips that I've seen, it's the camaraderie of the kids. That picture that's circulating right now with the student from, was it Flower Mound and Carmel?
Carmel, yeah.
With the fist bump across the line. Like,
That's awesome.
It was breathtaking.
Breathtaking. Like, this is what it's about. Like, sure, it's a competitive activity, but man, at the end of the day, it's kids and it's doing the thing that we all love. And we're such a niche little pocket of life that we gotta get along and we gotta support each other and we gotta recognize and know that, like, yes, the 12 bands that made the finals were the top 12, but like really the top 50 are still amazing, and the top 100 after that are still putting in the work, and the 200 after that are still worthy of our praise. Like, I want to celebrate everybody, but I got to move on. Trish, you got some DCI news for us?
I do. So it was a big day this week when the DCI schedule was released. And it was really cool to see on that day all the drum corps social media accounts right away posted where they were going. So that was really, really cool to see. But the first thing that I went to look at was, I know we all heard a few months ago that the Blue Coats are the ones that are doing the California tour this summer. So when the schedule came out, I looked immediately to see, so when's their California debut? And it is actually, they will go head to head up against the Blue Devils in Oxnard, California on Thursday, July 2nd, will be their California debut. And that's something everybody's going to have on their radar. And looks like it's going to be, another really exciting summer. And it's going to be, there's going to be a really good, lot of good stuff. Looking forward to seeing it all.
I'm going to miss California tour this summer. Because I'm going to tell all of our listeners, listen, if you have not been able to do the Drum Corps West Coast tour and do California, it is It's a whole nother vibe. And it was so exciting this year with Boston coming across the country and starting their season off over there. It made for an exciting season. So I looked at the schedule earlier today and I'm like, I'm only going to get to see some shows in the South. Trish, I might come up and stay with you for a weekend and go to Allentown just because,
Yes.
it'll be a good time. But super jazzed
That
about the
sounds
GCAD
fun.
season. Right? Oh, it is a good time.
I'm ready.
I tell
Let's
you.
bring it in. After the last couple years, let's just go. Let's keep these vibes rolling.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely. So I have some news on the HBCU front. So the finalists for ESPN's 2025 Red Lobster Band of the Year have officially been selected, and four powerhouse HBCU programs will take center stage in Atlanta on December 12th as they battle for the national championship. This year's
Oh,
competition, rooted in excellence, tradition, and the unmatched musical pageantry of the HBCU band world, has been the most competitive season yet, representing the pinnacle of HBCU marching culture. The bands moving forward embody the precision, pageantry, and passion that defines the spirit of every HBCU campus. This year's finalists span both divisions and include two reigning champions looking to defend their crowns. In Division Two, the Fayetteville State University and Miles College, the 2024 champion, advanced to Atlanta after impressive seasons. And in Division One, we have Southern University and Florida A&M University, also known as FAMU, the returning national champions, have entered their place in the final showdown. So each of these four programs have navigated a season filled with national showcases, high profile performances, and fierce competitions from dozens of other HBCU bands. But the result is a championship field that represents the very best of the HBCU marching legacy and tradition. Y'all, let me tell you something. I am so excited that my algorithm in the last couple of weeks has just reset to where every other video is like an HBCU band, and some of the creativity
mm.
and pageantry that comes out of it. Like, I it's just unmatched. Like, I love my core style and I love my drum corps world and my BOA world and all of that stuff. But there is something about HBCU bands that is just unbridled, like musicianship and performance quality that only exists in that world. And I just think back to my childhood, like on Saturdays when my grandpa would take me to Jackson State University games, and you would see the J5 drum majors coming into the stadium with the J sets prancing behind them and that like unmistakable tuba sound. And it just does something to my heart. It does.
Girl,
So I
it's
mean,
so real.
it's so
It is so
real.
real. It is so real. My boyfriend is a band director, and yesterday he was laughing at his phone, and I was like, "What are you laughing at?" And he turned the volume up on it, and it was an HBCU marching band playing "Wicked," and I was thinking, "Oh, how relevant!" And I mean, they weren't
Come
just playing;
on.
they were playing. I
Yes.
wish, babe. Do you remember which band it was? I wish. Anyway, but yeah, no, it was funny that you mentioned that because I mean, it was one of those where we were just sitting there and we were like, "We're pathetic over here. Are we not putting the air through our horns?"
I know. I know. It's even the stuff. It's like when they pull out classical band literature. Like my favorite is the Sousa March during the fifth quarter. Like when HBCU band plays the Sousa
Mm.
March, and it's like, what are you really doing? Like if you don't sound like this when you're playing the Sousa March, are you really playing the march? And then we have like just stupid, ridiculous classical pieces. Like there's a video floating around. I believe it's Southern University doing like Flight of the Bumblebee. And it's like, yes, how? It is phenomenal. And then you get the majorette dancers, honey, 8 counts. I, I
I can
can't.
see it in drumline now.
I know. I know. Taylor,
Yes.
tell me about my favorite day because we are coming up just a few days, probably when this podcast gets released. We're going to be on Thanksgiving. And my favorite thing on Thanksgiving is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But you have some news for us.
Do I have some news? Yes, I have some news. Not only is this year the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, this year is the 100th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you all. 100 years. Let's see here. It's going to be held November 26th, Oh, wait, actually, I'm so dumb. That's next year's. Pause, cut, repeat. I should do my research a little bit better. I should look at my dates. That's next year. You all, I got excited. We can give me a big fail. You all can unfollow me on TikTok and everything. Send me the hate mail,
No,
whatever
it's
it
all
is.
good.
Anyway,
It's all
It's all
facts
good.
good.
are facts. Anyway, we've got. Let's see here. Actually, I think. Do I have the wrong? I have the wrong parades. I'm sorry, you all. Let's see here. Ow. Oh. We want the internet to work right now. You all. I know that there were some internet issues earlier this week, but give me just one moment.
Well, while you're finding that, I'm going to talk about the 2025 Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day
Ooh,
Parade, sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. I have done that parade, and let me tell you something. It was 13 degrees was the high that day, and taking a group
mm.
of kids from Florida to Philadelphia to do a 13-degree parade was not the best thing in the world as far as temperature wise, but it was a great experience. But this year, the 2025 participating bands are the Clearview Regional High School Marching Band from Malika Hill, New Jersey, the East Hills Middle School Band from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I stayed at that middle school this year when we were at rehearsal for DCI. The Heritage High School Band from Newport News, Virginia, the Kingsway Regional Marching Band from Woolwich Township in New Jersey, the Lake Central High School Marching Band from St. John, Indiana, the Oak Mountain High School Spirit of Cahaba Marching Band from Birmingham, Alabama, the Penn High School Marching Kingsmen from Mishawaka, Indiana, the Pennsbury High School Marching Band from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, the Philly All Stars Marching Band from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the Zionsville Marching Eagles from Zionsville, Indiana. That is going to be a great lineup for a parade.
Sounds pretty fun to me.
Yeah, I feel like
My
Yeah,
that.
goodness.
I have to drive. So I have to drive from New Jersey to Long Island on Thanksgiving Day to go to my brother's house. And where I live in New Jersey, I live really close to New York City. I live like North Jersey, like 10 minutes from the George Washington Bridge. But to get to my brother's house, it can either take me a half an hour or 2 hours, depending on traffic. And I will not leave. I will not leave until I see every minute of that Macy's parade on TV. I will not leave. I don't
Oh,
care
yeah.
what the traffic is like. I don't care.
That's real.
Absolutely. I think that I'm going to do that parade next year and just go and watch. Like, I'm not going to do my normal
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, have everybody over. I'm just going to go up to New York. I'm going to watch the parade because I've always gone like after the parade has happened, like including the year we
Yeah.
did the Philadelphia parade. I didn't get to see the Macy's Day Parade that year, other than when I
Yeah.
got home and it was DVR'd. But I want to
Yeah.
actually be present for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, it will definitely change your life. My
Hmm.
boyfriend and I both were fortunate to take our both of our programs in their years. We had multiple years, and it was before we even met each other. But hearing his story and then getting to like have my own experiences with it with my alma mater and getting to take students that I taught it was really cool. Especially as being someone that lived in the city and never just walked in the middle of the street. I mean, it's 40
Right.
people wide all the way down when you go to Fifth Avenue, and you have right in front of us is the Carmel Marching Band, like of all bands.
Right.
And then it's the Snoopy balloon, and then it's us, and then of like little bitties. But no, it's the entire day. It's tiring, it's exhausting, but it is. You'll always remember it. A lot of photos have been starting to circulate, and I'm just like, oh my gosh! But Anyway, I guess we'll let that segue back into the fact that this year is actually, my friends, it is the 99th annual Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade.
Okay.
So just so that facts are facts, America. But it will be airing November 27th, 2025 in New York City and broadcast to viewers live on NBC and on Peacock that same day at 8 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be hosted by Samantha Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, as we all know, and Al Roker. You know, love. The lineup's going to feature 18 helium balloons, 33 mid-sized balloons, 29 floats, 33 clown groups, and 11 marching bands. And some of those marching bands are ones that we have seen recently. We're going to have the Alcorn State Sounds of the Dynamite from Alcorn, Minnesota. We're going to have the bands
nope, Mississippi. They're from Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Mississippi, honey.
And then we got Banda de la Música La Primavera from Santiago, Veraguas, Panama. We've got the Catawba Ridge High School Marching Band from Fort Mill, South Carolina. We've got the Damien Spartan Regiment from Laverne, California. We've got the LD Bell Blue Raider Band from Hearst, Texas. And of course, we've got our Macy's Great American Marching Band from Nationwide Pools. I actually know a couple of students that are going to be up there. One of the drum majors, super excited for her. We've got the Northern Arizona Lumberjack Marching Band from Flagstaff, Arizona. And the New York Police Department Marching Band from New York. As well as the Spartan Drum and Bugle Corps. I'm super excited about this one. Super excited for the Spartans.
That is actually
all the way from New Hampshire.
That for my gush and go. I'm saving that because I have a little story about that. I'm saving that for my gush and go.
All right, we will talk. And then finishing it out is going to be the Temple University Diamond Band from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you all. It's going to be a good year for bands. I'm excited.
It's going to be a great year for bands. It is. Well, as much as I would love to sit here and talk about all the news, guys, we have to go to another commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment with more On a Water Break.
Hi, everyone. It's time for your travel tip of the week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. When you start reviewing the calendar for the dates for your next performance tour, avoiding major holidays is strongly recommended. Not only will you avoid longer lines at attractions, you could also save money by traveling during the off-season. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you're ready to start planning your next performance tour. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel and your travel tip of the week. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
Okay, everyone, we are back, and it is time for 60-second tech block. 60-second tech block. 60-second tech block. 60 seconds. Okay,
We're good.
I have to laugh every time that I get to host because It's just funny to me. And it literally was a complete joke when I recorded that whole opening segment for that. So I
That's all
just
right.
got
It's about to be my turn. What are we doing? It's about to be my turn. So it's all good.
right. Anyway, for those of you who are new to the podcast, this is the segment where one of our guest hosts and guest clinicians is put on the spot to deliver a nonstop 60-second tech session on a topic that needs some serious attention after the last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics that they think they can talk about for a full 60 seconds straight. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. And this week, let's see, I think we'll throw it over to our Alaskan friend. That's ALASKA, Christian. Christian, you, you said that your best topics were rehearsing before the sun sets when you don't have stadium lights, because, in Alaska, the sun sets one day and then it doesn't come back up for 6 months, you know, or building a marching band from the ground up. And I'm going to say that since the ground is kind of in permafrost for another 6 months, that's a pretty big topic. And lastly, creating a show for small bands. Okay. So, friends, Taylor, Trish, what topics do you think that we should get Christian to do?
I want to hear
These are
about building a
fun.
marching band from the top, from the bottom, all the way, starting it from scratch.
Started from the bottom and now we're
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
Up the ladder to the roof, honey.
Oh, up the ladder to the roof. And
You better
we
get that
can.
Sherry Renee Scott.
Okay, yes. Met
Shout
her.
out
She's
Sherry Renee
fabulous.
Scott.
She's
Jeez.
fabulous.
Word.
I'm going to agree. I want to hear about building a marching band from the ground up when the ground is in permafrost for 6 months out of the year. Christian, are you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay. Taylor, friend, do you mind pulling up on your phone right now a 60-second timer for me?
Let's get it. I feel like I'm watching that old video of Chuck Henson and Dan Potter on YouTube when they were giving them the BOA lowdown. They're 60 seconds to an ounce, 60 seconds to an ounce. All right.
You ready? Okay. All right. 60 seconds on the clock, Christian. And here we go.
All right. So the first thing you got to do is you got to get them exposed to the activity. If they have no idea what marching band is, you're lost. So for me, I teach middle school. I showed a lot of marching band videos starting when they were in 6th grade. I did marching arts Mondays. Every Monday at the end of class for 10 minutes, we watched BOA, DCI, WGI, indoor, whatever it was. We spent 10 minutes watching it, and I
30
exposed them to the
seconds.
activity. And so from there, then, once you have the band and you have the buy-in to at least try it, you start easy, you teach them technique, you're teaching them how to play in class.
15.
On the visual side of things, you got to get them their fundamentals. And then, just
10.
basically getting parent buy-in, getting student buy-in, and
5.
a fun show and something that they can be excited
3.
to perform. And yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sir, listen to me. I feel like you rehearsed that, first of all, because you were really ready to go with that whole thing. But there was some very good insight in your conversation and in your telling us how we can do this. I truly believe that you have set a roadmap when we talk about programs being able to reach and aspire for the stars. You have done that with a program in a situation that none of us thought that even existed. Like I said earlier, I did not know marching band existed in Alaska. And you took your kids to Grand Nationals. I cannot wait to see what you do with your program. And I know that the rest of America speaks with me when we say we're proud of you and we're so glad that you are being the first. You're being the first. You're out there doing the thing. But enough about all of that. That was a solid 60-second tech block. Hopefully, someone out there just got the tech advice that they didn't know that they needed. But now it's time to switch things up because it's time for everyone's favorite. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
So this is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit, or maybe a lot. This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this yet? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So, who's got something they need to get off their chest? Trish, my sister, what are we doing?
Well, my what are we doing actually comes from an anonymous caller, we'll say, that wants to know what are we doing being so mean on social media about Avon winning Grand Nats. Apparently, there's a lot of stuff going up about, I mean, when did we turn Avon into the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, okay, they win a lot, whatever, but listen, I mean, the program is top notch. And like the anonymous caller said, these kids are reading this and these kids see this. And, they may be freshmen that weren't in the previous groups that won. And, it's just, I get it. We wouldn't have a segment called "What Are We Doing" if we weren't griping about things. It's normal. We get it, but these are kids, and they just won, and the anonymous caller wanted to have that mentioned.
So this
I'm
is
mentioning
the
it.
segment of the show where I'm going to get bleeped out a lot because this is something that pisses me off. You want to piss me off? That is talk crap about kids doing something great and being mad that your program or the program that you liked the best wasn't the one that won. At the end of the freaking day, there were 1,000+ kids, 2,000 kids that performed their asses off over 3 days of competition. And judges had to narrow down from a field of 200 bands the top 12 bands. And from that, they had to figure out which one did the thing the best. And there is no real possible way of being able to say this one is better. They just go through a series of criteria. And for you to get your raggedy, lazy ass on the internet behind your keyboard and start typing and saying some shit about kids and belittling kids because you were mad that a program that you liked or you felt some type of way about was not the one that is the winner. Take every seat in Lucas Oil freaking Stadium and sit your ass down. I am done. I am done with people on the internet getting on your keyboard and figuring that they can say whatever the hell they want to say. I'm sick of it. Shut the F up. It is kids doing things that are great and they are not out there in the streets causing problems. They are doing the right thing. And just because your program that you liked or you felt some type of emotional attachment to did not win, no one is saying that that program was bad. They're just saying that it wasn't the best one that fit all the criteria that is listed down in the rule book. Shut the hell up and sit your ass down. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I saw the post. I literally was driving back from state championships here in Florida from FFCC, from the Villages. Look up the Villages. If you don't know about the Villages, that's a whole nother side conversation that we can have in the comments. But I read this comment and you talking about something, I saw red. That's all I did. I cannot with people that get pissed off. Do you know, for someone who creates shows like me, and the other people in this room, because we all do this, we are all creators. When we put our heart and soul into a project, we want it to win and we want it to be great. But we also know that there is a reality of there are people that are going to do things better. And there are people in this world that have had practice and they have just mastered the art of figuring out how to do the thing the right way. And when you put yourself out there in this world of the competitive nature, you cannot be upset that someone is going to beat you. You can be proud when you win, and you can be upset that you did not win. But what you cannot do is go and bash someone else for being great. And you definitely should
1000%.
not do that when it is effing kids. When it is freaking kids, you should never open your mouth to say anything negative about what they are doing if those kids have been doing something positive. Sit your ass down. Take the entire effing seat in Lucas Oil Stadium and
That's
sit
the
your
line that I
ass
can't win.
down.
Not sit in every seat in Lucas Oil Stadium. I can't.
But like for real
Awesome.
though, no one was
Awesome.
saying it in 2010. So why are they saying it 15 years later? Like no one was
It's
coming
so
for
ridiculous.
Avon marching black and gold with like pitchforks when they got their first three peats. So why is it happening this time?
It's
That's my 2
ridiculous.
cents. And like going
People
back to what we
feel
said earlier in the whole
emboldened.
conversation, we were talking about how nice they were. It's like my program, we won our class those 3 years that they won their three-peat, and we were next to them in the tunnel. That's my tea. We were next to them in the tunnel before the full retreat. And when I tell you that those Avon kids were some of the nicest ones to us in that
Yes.
tunnel, and we were only hanging out with their guard because their guard was bigger than our entire win section. But
Right.
like, heaven forbid, they were the sweetest kids. Them and Broken Arrow, though. But like, for real, though, the Avon kids, they were so sweet. They were just happy to be there. So, heaven forbid that they work hard. I mean, have you watched their TikTok and social media? Those kids are working hard.
Every day. Every day. Y'all, you wanna piss me off? You talk about some kids. You throw kids in there and you say kids don't deserve something. You can kiss my whole ass. You can kiss my entire ass. I do not care. You can bleep this out, Trish, later. I don't care. I do not care. It pisses me off when people get on the internet and feel like they are emboldened. You know what? Say it to my face. Don't say it to them kids' faces. Come say it to my face. I dare you. I dare you to get in my face and say it and see what happens. Because I'll lose my job and I will go to jail and I'll smile in the mugshot. I'll smile in the damn mugshot because I will pop you in your mouth talking about kids. I don't care. I don't even care anymore.
Period.
Well, who's going to follow
Christian,
that one up?
Christian, I got to move on because I'm gonna sit here and be festered and mad. Christian, what are we doing, baby? What are we doing?
Well, first off, I don't know how to follow that, but I'm going to try. For me personally, this is kind of a local thing, but maybe there's other places out there. But for me, I don't understand why more programs up here don't do marching band. Like, for me, I think it's part of a well-rounded band program. You know, you have jazz band, you have concert band, you have whatever it is. Marching band should be part of that curriculum. And if my kids can do it into mid-November, there's no excuse that other people can't.
Okay. I mean, I was gonna give an excuse to be like, because it's cold, but you did it, so therefore that excuse does not
That's
work.
gone.
Bundle up.
Put on a coat, girl. Layer up. Oh, I guess it's my turn. What are we doing with the fact that I, and all of my years in this activity and working for Bands of America, I have never been to Grand Nats, and I'm very upset about that. So, what are we doing with Florida always having championships during or around Grand Nats time, so that I can't go to Grand Nats?
Mm-mm.
I think that's a personal thing for me. I just gotta figure out my life and do better. But I really want to go to Grand Nats. I'm tired of watching it on video. And I'm tired of having conversations with people that are like talking about how great all these bands were. And I'm like a week late watching the clip to see what
You're
it looked
gonna
like.
go. Don't worry. You're gonna go.
I think I'm going to go next year. I think next year is a year for me. Like, I'm going to give up all of my responsibilities. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to, like, run anything. I'm just going to go and be a fan again. So I do. Yeah. Taylor, I know you're over there clutching your pearls ready to say something. What are we doing?
Girl, I can't narrow it down. I'm going to have to make a whole TikTok series out of this because I've got comments left and right. I know there's going to be people, if they watch this, and I know they're going to watch it, they're going to be pissed that I didn't even mention their comment because, some of these kids be coming in these. I was no one until I had some random TikToks take off during band camp, and it was only because it was hot. And then from there, people realized they were like, oh, you're some random weirdo that also does band. But like, they're not going to be, I don't even know. Anyway, at this point, from the theater part of me, I need to know because when I came back from COVID, I was not expecting to continue the Bachelor of Fine Arts and Theatrical bullshit to be going on a marching band stage. When I left marching band, our visuals were like left, right, down, up, maybe a grapevine to the right, but it wouldn't go back to the left because we didn't have like castle skirts. We didn't. Heaven forbid. Like it's for real. If you want castle skirts, ask Dunbar High School. They got them. But like, girl, when did marching band turn into Broadway? Like, and I'm being for real because we're talking about the discrepancies between like kids that can afford stuff and the kids that can't. But like, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like there's no excuse at this point because Christian, your kids had better props, and it was honestly your GE was perfect because I was like, that's an Alaskan show. I know who they are. I know who they are. Heaven forbid, I love Carmel, but I was like, who the hell is that? We are doing Chick Corea's My Spanish Heart. And I'm over here thinking, the one time that's what it was. I love them. I love Carmel. My boyfriend loves Carmel. We love Carmel in Kentucky. I love it on my ice cream too. But also like the one time I love that asymmetrical plume. Why are we taking on the theatrics? Girl, I made a TikTok the other day because I was looking at their guard. Brown cow stunning. If you ever watch Drag Race, you know Brown cow stunning, and you've seen that guard. Honey, those weren't bulls. Brown cow stunning with the ooh ah sensation. It was that. Honestly, at this point, I saw on a water break, y'all were talking about like sell the uniforms. To who? Besides other band programs, what are we doing? We are doing sell them to Broadway. Some of these uniforms, have you seen William Mason High School? These uniforms are Broadway level. Tarpon Springs High School is literally like Broadway Junior. Like Musical Theater International could literally produce a. Did you see their COVID show? No, wait. That was
Yes.
that Tarpon Springs or was that Dobbins?
Yes.
No, it was Tarpon
Hamilton.
Springs.
Tarpon did
They did a
Hamilton.
full-on
They did
freaking
Hamilton.
show. They did it. Like the set.
Yeah.
Granted, I got it confused with Dobbins Bennett because Dobbins Bennett also is Broadway because they have two shows. They do a whole football show. And they do their shows for BOA. You think you see what they do at BOA? Go and look what they do for halftime for a football show, and then tell me that you don't have time to put together a show. Girl, I could rant. We are becoming Broadway. Girl, honey, Broadway can't even afford to be Broadway. So why is marching band trying to step into that right now? We are not being funded nationally to be able to afford to do this.
I feel personally attacked right now, Taylor. As my second chapter of my life, using my theater background, is I am employed by many marching bands and winter guard programs as a performance and acting coach. So, yeah, I'm teaching Uta Hagen the marching bands and winter guards because that is where we are now in the activity.
Oh, it is so there. There's so many things happening at once. When I was watching Fantasia's Winter Guard this year, I didn't know where to look and when, and I loved every moment of it. And I was like, I just want to be there. I just want to be. I don't know if I want to be in it or be a part, like watching it. I just love that this is what we do in our little like marching arts bubble because it is just it's almost so chaotic that it just doesn't make any sense. Like if you pulled up a rando that's not in the marching arts world and they were just like, oh, look at these people. They really get off on just like rewatching performances from years past. Like I'll tell you what, when I watch Faust, when I watch anything from 1999, like 90s drum corps, girl, takes me back. But
Yep.
it's the pageantry of it all. Like I have a
Hmm.
friend, one of my friends, John in Louisville. I met him through my boyfriend, and like him and I, like, we just love to talk about the pageantry of it all.
The
Girl, I mean,
pageantry
come
of
on,
it all.
Phantom Regiment this year. Phantom Regiment said, and it's not
Pageantry.
because I'm wearing them, like, they said, we're not going to even name our show.
We're just gonna give you pageantry, and you're gonna have to accept it for
We're just
whatever it
going to do a
is that
show.
you feel in your spirit.
Honestly, that's it. What are we doing? Why are we naming our shows? Phantom Regiment done proved that we don't have to name our shows. Phantom Regiment. And then they just go.
Yeah.
Why name it? I don't need a PhD. I should not have to have a PhD to understand your marching band show, girl. And also, while we're at it, the last bit of shade for the night because it's getting late, figure out your color schemes. I am so tired of
Oof.
seeing some of these color schemes that we're griping and bitching about. And we're like, that doesn't work. And then we use it a couple years later. Why are we doing this? We know the colors that work. We know the complementary colors. We did color wheel in grade school. I know y'all did the color wheel. If you can do the circle of fifths, I know that you can do the color wheel and you know what works and what doesn't. Period. Point blank. I'm done.
Ricardo just can't right now.
I can't. I'm done. I'm through. I am
Ricardo
finished.
just can't.
I am put out to pasture. That was everything I needed. What are we doing to be and more? Oh, Trish, I can't. Just go on.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Touch and go.
Lord, y'all, I feel as if I had a spiritual awakening through that. Now that we got that off our chest, y'all, it's time for Gush and Goes. Welcome to Gush and Go. This is your chance to shout out something awesome happening in your life, marching arts related or not. Maybe you're excited about a performance, a student success, a big life event, or just something cool you want to brag about. No negativity here, just pure unfiltered hype. So, who's got something to gush about? Sister Trish, you're up first.
All right, so I'm going to go back to the Macy's parade story and the Spartans. As you know, I have a really good friend, Andy, who's I mentioned this a million times, on the admin team at Spartans. And I know they're coming into town. So I was talking to him on the phone yesterday, and he said, oh, yeah, they're coming in. They're rehearsing Monday at some place called the Sports Dome. I said, what? I said, the Sports Dome in Waldwick, New Jersey? He goes, yeah, do you know it? And I go, so the company that I work for in the summer, like, that's their home base. And I was like, do I know it? I've worked there a million times. They're going to be at the Sports Dome? So I'm hopefully going to be able to go up and check them out and see their rehearsals for the parade. So I'm super excited about that. I know how to get there. I know it's all good. I was like, it can't be the same place. He sent me the itinerary. It totally is. So I've been there a million times, and I'm going to go check out their rehearsals and hang out and have a good time. And I'm excited about that.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I love that for you. That's going to be a good time. Christian, what are you gushing and going about?
I want to shout out the marching arts community. They made a little band from Alaska feel loved last week. It's still, there's a lot of things that are happening in our band program, but that's still fresh. So that's why I'm still talking about it. The outpouring of love and support from the marching arts community we had like 80 followers on Instagram, and now it's like quadrupled that, and people are still sending love a week later, and I just want to shout out the whole community for making my kids have a special trip last week.
Oh,
That's awesome, Christian. And we're so glad that you were able to make that trip. Well, my gush and go is this, guys. So, I have just finished up doing our school district music expos, where we bring all of our elementary and middle school students, fourth and fifth grade students, and then our eighth grade students over to their high school that they are possibly going to be funneled into to showcase their music and fine arts programs. This was the brainchild of my former counterpart, Ria, who has now transitioned into a new job. And this is my first year to have to run this kind of solo. And it was just amazing to be in the room with all of these elementary kids, fourth and fifth grade, that like had no idea about band and choir and orchestra, and to just see their excitement about instruments being played and like wanting to do band and choir and orchestra when they get to middle school. And then seeing the middle school students who were already a part of programs that want to continue, and the students who are not, but saw the opportunities in front of them to continue or start a career or education in the arts. So, as a music specialist and supervisor for a school district, it was a very heartwarming last 2 weeks for me. So I'm very thankful for that going into the holiday break, that our school district and my bosses believed in it enough that they would put funding behind it to make that happen.
that is awesome.
Yeah. Sister Taylor, what are you gushing and going about?
Yes. So I want to give a huge shout out to a sister from across the state marching band, the Christian County High School Marching Band, and as well as the Hopkinsville High School Marching Bands. They just finished their final years in Kentucky as their specific band programs. Their schools are about to conjoin in our state, and this hasn't happened for about like for something this big. It hasn't happened for about like a little over 15-ish, maybe 17-ish years where it's been to this grand of a scale. And this will be pretty cool for our state. The Christian County High School, they just won the Class 4A championship in our state of Kentucky. And that was super neat to see a band program on their final year finally just like get the state championship in the first and last time in school history. And then they also got to travel up to BOA Grand Nationals, and they got some really cool features. And they even got a special shout out through the Nationals announcers. You know, Dan Potter literally even said for the final performance, the Christian County High School Marching Band. Like it just was, it's very moving. As someone who competed against them this year and has students that appreciate them, has a friend who is from that exact area and grew up there. It's just been neat to see a program like that, especially in the state of Kentucky. This school is predominantly students of color. So seeing a school in a student body like that as well, leading the reins here in the state of Kentucky is also, again, as a brown person that was raised in a white family, it's very neat to see. It's kind of like when I grew up seeing Marian Catholic performing and being so successful. So other brown kids in Kentucky, they get to see kids from Christian County and Hopkinsville get to succeed here on out and get to start this new chapter. I'm so excited for you all, and I think it's going to be really neat for all of their staff to get to learn and grow as a new division and being a new dominator in our state. So congrats to them.
I love that. I love it. Ooh. Well, everyone, thanks for a great rehearsal this week. And thank you for everyone who was spending time with us today. Taylor and Christian, listen, where can we find you on social media? Taylor?
Yeah, if you want to find me on Instagram or TikTok, it is at Great Batch of Cookies. It is spelled like a great batch of cookies. My last name is Great Batch, and that's where it comes from. And if you are in the Lexington area and you want to take my cycling classes, my Instagram is at Spindle Jenner. It's just like Kendall Jenner, but with a spin.
I'm going to come through when I roll up through Christmas on Christmas break. I'm going to stop by and take your cycling class.
Girl, you better. We'll go to Keeneland and go see the Christmas lights.
Love it. Love it. Christian, my friend, where can we find you on social media?
So I don't do too much social media personally, but you can find the band page. All our Instagram and Facebook is at Kenai Bands. And if you want to see me roast my students lovingly, I have a TikTok called AK Band Director. I promise it's lovingly roasting them.
Of course.
Looks up right now.
So if you've got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now to fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast, a la our guest tonight. So check out that link in our bio on our social media, or you can just take out your phone, make a video and send it to us, and maybe you'll see yourself on the podcast soon. And can you all tell us where we can find you? One more thing, that was not supposed to be in there. That was the wrong part of the script. I'm taking that out. But one more thing, don't forget, we have a YouTube channel now, so go and subscribe, and you can see us, not just listen to us, all there. Also, before you close out your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, and guys, share this with a friend, because if you aren't listening to On a Water Break, what are you even doing? What are you doing? Anyway, follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reed. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.